Hello friends, I'm Dr. Vivek and today I'm going to discuss theory section. Today I'm going to start with the theory section as we have been doing the criticism till date, and now I'm going to start the theory section. And the first theory I'm going to start with is structuralism. Yes, as you can see on the screen, that I'm going to discuss structuralism. It's a very important theory for the point of view of literature, for the point of view of NET exams. So stay connected, be with me in this theory to understand this theory. First of all, structuralism was an intellectual movement began in France in 1950s. This movement, you can say, started in 1950s. It is first seen in the works of anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss and the literary critic Roland Barthes. In the beginning, you find in 50s in the works of anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss and Roland Barthes, we get the signs, we get the link in the beginning writings of these, the works of these two writers. The essence of this theory is based is the belief that the things can be seen in the context of a larger structure of which they are a part, and hence the theory is given the name structuralism. Basically, this theory is all about structures, as the name suggests, structuralism. And this is talking about the larger structures. You see everything, if you understand, you get the meaning of words, of any concept, anything by the understanding in the context to the larger structure. बड़े रूप में किसी लिंक के साथ ये देखते हैं in the they see they get the meaning out of larger structures or big structures. There's not understanding the things in totality, means in isolation. They understand the meaning, they get the meaning out of the larger structures. According to this theory, meaning is not a kind of core and the essence inside the things, but always outside. So, meaning, always we try to understand meaning in the words. What is the meaning of the word? We see the dictionary. You will not get the dictionary meaning out of that. But they say, structuralist says that though we get the meaning by getting the meaning in the word, by meaning getting the words of the meaning in dictionary. So but here they are saying something different. They say that meaning is not inside the word, meaning is outside. So we can say that meaning is the attribute of things which is imparted by human mind. So meaning is given by human mind. There is nothing inside the word. For example, for comprehending the mock heroic poem Rape of the Lock, if you want to understand literary work Rape of the Lock, we need to understand the genre, which is mock heroic. The genre, if you want to understand mock heroic, if you want to understand Rape of the Lock, for to understand this work of literature, firstly we have to understand what is mock heroic, which is a part of it, and the genre epic. Epic you have to understand. Then only you can understand Rape of the Lock, which it imitated for rendering trivial subject matter in epic style. In this approach, there is a constant movement away from the interpretation of the individual literary text and drive toward understanding the larger abstract structures of which it is a part. So again, the same thing is that if you any literary work, if you want to understand, firstly you have to understand which genre it belongs to. Uh, Firstly, you have to understand the genre, like in the case of Rape of the Lock. Here, mock heroic or epic. Firstly, you have to understand what is mock heroic all about, what is epic all about. Then only you can understand Rip of the Law. Ferdinand de Saussure, very important name in this literary theory, structuralism. The lifespan is 1857 to 1913. Although structuralism proper began in 1950s and 60s, but it has its root in the thinking of Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. So the roots are in the linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. Before Saussure, the focus of linguistic scholars was the history of language. Saussure, in his research on language, focused on the patterns and functions of language in use only. Before Saussure, they are trying to get the meaning in history, the history of language. So, firstly, he changed the concept of understanding of language or literary work. Saussure, in his research, emphasized on how meanings are established, how we get the meaning, how the way we get the meaning that he analyzed, he researched, Saussure researched and maintained on the function of grammatical structures. There are certain grammatical structures through which you understand the meaning of the word or any concept on any literary work. He emphasized, Saussure emphasized, firstly, meaning that we give to the words are arbitrary and they are maintained by convention. That is a very different and altogether very new concept or of understanding of any literary work. He says that, Saussure says that the words are meaning, the words and the meaning are arbitrary. The meaning of the words given to them, the meaning of the words given to the particular word is arbitrary. He says there is no relevance, there is no reference, no connection between the word and its meaning. So, meaning is something different. The words are unmotivated signs. This means that there is no inherent connection between the words and what they designate. There is an altogether different talk he's saying. He says that there is no inherent connection between the word and what they designate, what the meaning it gives. Structuralists were interested in the implication of this arbitrariness of language as it proves that language is not the reflection of the worlds and of experience, but a system which separates from it. Meaning of the words are relational. The meaning of the words are relational, means words and the meanings you get through the relating, by getting the relation. There is a relation between the two words. No words can define in isolation. You cannot define any word in isolation. You cannot understand the word's meaning in isolation or in separation with the other words. You get the meaning in relation to the other words. The definition of any word depends on its relation with the other adjoining words. For example, the word hut, for its precise meaning, depends on its meaning in syntagmatic chain. There is a chain of called syntagmatic chain through which you understand the meaning of the words. Syntagmatic chain is a chain of words related to their function and meaning. For example, the syntagmatic chain in the case of hut we include. If you want to understand hut, so how would you understand according to Saussure or these linguistics through this theory called structuralism? If you want to understand hut, there is a syntagmatic chain of like hovel, then shed, hut, house, mansion, palace. So if you want to understand hut, so how would you understand hut? It you would understand hut by saying this, that in relation to this syntagmatic chain, in which you see, you can say that shed is bigger. Sorry, if you want to understand hut, you understand in that syntagmatic chain by explaining that that hut uh, uh, is bigger than shed and smaller than house. So in that way, you can understand any of the word house, mention, shared, a hovel. So that's according to them, there is a syntagmatic chain, and you understand any word, any concept in relation to the other word, right? And there is a chain, and through that chain you understand the meaning of the any concept, any of the word. In this chain, hut has certain feature common to its adjoining words but does differ in some. For example, mention can be defined as bigger and grander than house, but not as big and grand as palace. So the same way as I understood, you can understand the word hut. Meaning is also a matter of pair or binary opposites. For example, the term male and female have meaning and relation to each other. Each designates the absence of the characteristics included in the other. Thus, male cannot be seen as female, or the vice versa. Means opposite, there is a binary opposites. If you want to understand male or female, now you can understand that way binary, that who has not characteristics of a male is called female, and who has not the characteristics of a female, that is called male. In language, language constitutes our world. It does merely record it. It does merely, language records it. Meaning is always attributed by human mind and constituted and expressed through language. It is given by human mind. The meaning is given, always given by human mind. It is not contained within the thing. For example, the same person can be a terrorist for the rulers but freedom fighter for the ruled. So means it is, the meaning is given by the human mind itself, and he explains through a terrorist. Terrorist, uh, a person is a terrorist for the rulers who are ruling over the nation, and it becomes freedom fighter for the person who are living there. So Shaw's thinking emphasized that language is arbitrary. That is very important. Shaw says that he emphasized in his theory that language is arbitrary. There is a meaning is given to the word is arbitrary, and relational. The meaning is relational. You understand in relation to the other word, and constituted. It is made. This way of thinking influenced greatly the structuralists and provided them with a model of system which is self-contained and in which individual items relate to each other and thus create larger structure. Dictionary, two words are very important here, lang and parole. If you, these are important words, lang and parole. Lang is signifier and signified. See, certain terms you need to understand. They comes in net exam. Uh, Distinction between lang and parole made by Shashore gave structuralist a way of thinking about larger structures which were relevant to literature. The term lang and parole signify respectively language as a system or structures on the one hand and any given utterance on the other. A particular utterance in any language makes a sense to us if we are in possession of the whole body of rules or conventions of that particular language. Means there is a system, there is a pattern of any concept, anything, or any literary work. There is a concept to which he it is a part of it. Uh, So structuralist makes a difference use of Lang and Parole distinction by uh, perceiving the individual's work of literature as parole of the particular genre. For example, Sons and Lovers is a parole for the Lang novel. So Lang and Parole, Lang is a bigger structure. Bigger structure means novel, and uh, parole is an individual literary work. In the case of Sons and Lovers is a parole of the larger structure Lang, right? Lang and Parole. Lang is a system. System is a novel. Novel is a system. There is a structures, and Parole is a particular work. Like Sons and Lovers is a parole. Is an example. Is example of a bigger structure. So that way you understand Lang and Parole, and certain terms are there, signifier and signified. Signifier means sound, like tree. Tree, it gives, tree is a sound, signifies a concept, a structure. When somebody says tree, so this sound, tree, uh, there is an image created in your mind. The tree is, when you somebody says tree, then there is an image created in your mind. So that create is signified, and signifier is the sound, and the image it creates, the concept it creates, the figure it creates. That's Lang. There is a signifier and signified. So these certain terms you need to understand the theory of structuralism. Means every concept, everything in your life, it applies to every area of life, every whatever you are doing, because you need to know the meaning of it. आप कुछ भी समझना चाहते हैं, और समझने के लिए it helps you, this structuralism, though it has limitations, but I'm not going to the limitations, but yes, somewhere it is can be a way of understanding of any concept, any idea, anything you want. It applies to every part of your life. So it helped you. I hope I I was able to make it clear to you. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching.